We are here on episode 116. So today's topic is going to be along the lines of AI visibility for sure. But what we are going to discuss is something every SEO is quietly worried about. Are AI overviews the new SERPs for brand visibility? So let's go ahead and find out. And we all know search is no longer about rankings. We are moving into a world where the AI assistants retrieve, synthesize, summarize, and cites multiple different websites, brands, and all of that happens without a single click. So let's decode what this answer layer means for how we measure, how we optimize, and how we report brand visibility. Let's get into it right away, and I'll hand it over to Malhar bhai.
All right. Thank you so much. Yes, live on episode 116 of SEOTalk Spaces. And like my dear friend Parth just spoke about, right? Is it the death of Blue Link or rebirth of brand authority? What does this synthesization or summarization of content actually look like and what it means to you? So, we'll talk about that and much more on the session today along with you guys. So, feel free to chime in with your thoughts, with your experiences, and if you're listening on the recording, definitely give us a shout out after you have gone through this, or if there is I don't know if there is a speed reading kind of stuff available for spaces, but if you listen on a speed 2x mode, etc., probably you can catch up some more insights as well. So, but we'll hear. We'll wait to hear back from you, and let's get started because I don't want to delay more from this exciting conversation. So, like always, let's go with the basics first, then go a little deeper. All right. And when I say basics, Parth, it actually means that why are we again talking about AI overviews?
Um, I think so. It's important to understand because now, if we think of SEO, let's think from a brand visibility lens. And as a business owner, um, if you have built a brand or if you are in process of building a brand, and if you are looking into the marketing function, uh, you will have a lot of curiosity that how does brand visibility work in this new SEO, GEO, AI SEO, whatever world. So by the end of this session, I think so you'll have more clarity on how to measure, how to optimize, and how to report visibility. And you'll get a lot of clarity with respect to how to go forward for next 3 to 6 months when you are looking for to invest in this particular marketing function. So yep.
No, fair start. And I guess to rest of the folks who are also on the panel speaking, uh, let me dive this a little deeper from what Parth just spoke about and say, okay, is ranking still a relevant factor when the systems are synthesizing answers or content for you?
Great question to start with. I will probably refer. So, for example, if a how-to article, uh, which cannot rank on number one, for example, because of informational intent, the competition, and at the same time, the AI reviews is showing up. So, if the AI reviews or ChatGPT quotes that particular how-to article in its response for a particular prompt, then the brand is winning the visibility game earlier, very, very earlier, early in the user journey stage. So, yeah, that's important. That's very much important.
Fantastic. I'll expand this question into so something like I'm working with a client, or probably I want to convey it to my CMO. How do I explain to them that ranking is probably not too much of a concern now, but getting our brand discovered within AI is probably more important. How do you handle that conversation with your clients right now? Yeah, Isha, please.
Okay, hi Malhar. Great question, great topic. Okay, so I'll tell you what I am doing right now because see so the way dynamics of SEO are changing, overview is changing. Now, to even we all have seen that uh, Google itself has stopped showing ampersand 100 ranking results. So anyways, ranking has gone to just top 10, 20 results. Nothing more than that will be shown on any tool anywhere. So what I am right now doing with most of my clients is that, so the moment Google rolled out, so the way we were uh, the way whenever there's an algorithm update, we give an update to all of our clients. Similarly, even before the monthly report, I gave that update to all of my clients, saying this is a dynamic or holistic change which is happening in SERPs. So it will be very difficult for us to show you ranking as a holistic, like where exactly you are ranking beyond 20. So I started creating my narrative from there. Having said, on my monthly report, I restructured those numbers. I am still using heavily GSC numbers to back the whole thought process and telling them that, till the time Google is still existing and uh, your audience is still coming from Google, this is what we will rely on. And slowly and steadily, I am pushing them, or rather moving them to AI overviews, and explaining them how exactly it is important, showing some case studies where their competitors might be beating them, why it is important from the brand visibility perspective. But again, this is happening case by case basis, because if it's a B2B brand, it needs to be heavily added to it, because there is a huge drop. I mean, I won't like I don't know, I don't want to put drop, but I would say there's a whole fluctuation of viewing how your audience is coming. So because there the audience is coming from multiple channels, which one is converting, which one is not. Even if it is a tech oriented thing, now people are upfrontly exploring AI browsers as well. So that's another thing. So if it's B2B brand, it is becoming very difficult, but ensuring that still we have analytics, we have heat maps, we are using other secondary and third party tools. So trying to create some correlation amongst those tools, and along with that, showcasing them that, where you are visible, like so that's one case from the B2B perspective. But if we talk about B2C, where or other e-commerce, it's very tricky, because for them, in the end, revenue matters. So there, so far, what I have seen from past 1 year working with most, I mean, even right now in last 2-3 months, what I'm seeing is still Google is the highest revenue driving channel in the space of organic. If we leave social, if we leave social, then so Google is still till date showcase was showcase is showcasing the highest revenue driving channel. Although there is a traffic coming from ChatGPT and other places, but the same revenue is not being generated, at least in the B2C space. B2B is a very different story. B2C is a very different story. So basis on client to client, first generating that narrative, educating them, constantly pushing them, not telling them directly that, what, we will stop seeing ranking. Because yesterday only, me and my team member had a huge debate on that. I was just telling them, I said, why are we doing keyword research since keyword is no more important? And they were like, how can you say keyword, we should not do keyword research? Because in the end, even if things are changing, but base still remains keywords only. Still you need to understand which is our audience, still we need to understand, so even if that we are not incorporating like a keyword perspective, but that keyword is helping us in the content planning, that keyword is helping us in the next quarterly plan, that keyword is helping us to understand, okay, what kind of products needs to be added, what kind of additional inventory needs to be added to the website. So a lot of other things comes up when with that keyword research. So that's my take.
Fantastic one. I'll to add to what you just said is say again I was going through one of the uh, AI browser recently, and I think whether that was Perplexity or Chat GPT, someone did mention that they are going to have say direct buying from the LLMs also, right? So one of them is part in India. They are partnering with Big Basket for now, and then they will subsequently move to with other platforms. So uh, your B2C customers probably uh, might take that route as well. So that was something that I just learned about probably a day or two back. But yeah, so again, going back on the question, Path or Faizan, if you want to chime in with your thought, how do you explain to your client that uh, ranking is not important at this point? Yeah, Faizan.
No, actually, I am in-house, so I do not have clients. But we do not say that ranking are not important because we are still following that rankings are important because all these ChatGPT, AI, and LM responses are kind of grounded to the ranking. And I mean, there are instances where pages that are not in top 20 or in 30 are getting visibility in AI, but most of the time, what we are seeing is if your page is in top 10, it will be visible in AI. So we are still focusing on that part. We are not actually completely discarding it.
Super. Parth, your thought?
Uh, yeah, sorry. Okay. Um, Couple of things here. I think so. How a brand s- builds their strategy for this organic channel for SEO for GEO, it will be different from industry to industry, brand to brand. The reason the whole search behavior thing has changed. People used to search on Google search with 3, 4, 5, up to 10, 12 keywords. They used to find blue links, navigate through it. The whole behavior has changed. So now what will happen is with the change in behavior, A, if there's a conversation going on, hey, there's no traffic coming to our website through our 700 blogs that have been published in the last 5 years, no traffic, like the traffic has reduced by 80%, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, this is not the story for a singular brand. It's the same story for across the industry, your competitors as well. So your content is not ranking, your content is not driving traffic. So should you stop investing in SEO? Should you stop investing in this organic channel? There are new ways how the audience is consuming content. Audience is interacting with the informational content or comparison tables or the reviews. How are your competitors adapting to it? So if you stop investing, competitors have already started investing into their AI brand visibility. So if you stop it for like 6 months or a year, for sure you're going to lag behind. So how do you reverse engineer it? So that's one part of the story. The second thing is, if you want to bring your target audience to your website, a couple of things that look at your, for example, if you publish 700 blogs, look at your 700 blogs, segregate it, categorize it theme wise, blah blah blah, and think of engineering each of those blogs, do the 80/20 thing, and those probably 100 and 150 blogs you want to focus on. How can you engineer that content in a way that the user have to land on your blog page, to use a calculator, to use some statistics, to anything where they have to land on your page. So how do you get your customers onto your website? So how to solve that puzzle? Now, while things are evolving on the website front, sorry, things are evolving on the Google SERP front. It has shifted from blue links to synthesized answers, AI overviews, and all of that. There are a bunch of other constants with respect to SEO, and those are, um, we used to optimize for a lot of listicles to get referral traffic. We Some of the brands, not all, it's a very underrated thing that they had started optimizing for YouTube SEO as well. So there are a bunch of constants where the behavior has not changed. You look at people consuming Reddit content, you look at people consuming YouTube content, you look at people consuming content across other forums and niche UGC platforms. So how do you go there and kind of build your presence, build your brand there until you find a framework that is working for all, until you get to know that hey, the dust has settled. um, if you are heavily relying on tools like SEMrush, they come up with their new frameworks. On earlier we used to do keyword research, keyword difficulty, and blah blah blah. So all of that will come up in next 6 to 12 months. The tools will mature because they have to survive, they have to come up with new models to serve to their customers. So these are all the questions that we need to ask. And at the same time, it's time to be a organic growth hacker, or organic growth enthusiast. You find those mini strategies, opportunities across different content formats, different platforms, and you try to build your moat there, build your brand there, and at the same time never stop reverse engineering things. Never stop tracking on whatever tool you have subscribed to, what is the brand visibility of your brand and your competitors. What are your competitors doing? What is working for them? So yeah, these are the things that I can highlight at this point in time. Sorry for a longer answer, but yeah, I wanted to touch upon a multiple I think so ideas. Yep.
No, that was a fantastic. That detailed one was much welcome because it really gives a perspective into the uh, into how anyone, right, either you are a brand side or an agency side, how do you answer or respond to your customer slash stakeholder, right? And this was pretty insightful from that point of view. So I'll go segue into the next one in terms of, and this is little controversial if I have to put it, but uh, are AI citations the new backlink, or is it just an illusion of authority based on what we just spoke? Anyone? Parth, Isha, Deepak, Faizan, anyone if you want to pick it up. What is your thought?
Uh, AI citations that we see in LLM responses, they are not backlinks. Backlinks are different. They are on the external website linking to our website, but they are the actual blue links. The blue links we are talking about on the Google. The citations are now the blue links because they are giving the opportunity to the user or the reader to click on it and find your website. And they are like a reference guide for them. Okay, if you want to read more, if you want to understand more about this content or this information, you can go to this website. So they are providing us the authority So they are the new Brewlink, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good one. I would say AI citations act as trust signals inside these LLM models. Uh, and repeated AI citations indicate that, hey, this particular content is answering the prompt or a phrase or a query. Yeah, so that's one thing. And if a particular brand is being cited across LLMs like ChatGPT, Copilot, Perplexity, and a bunch of others, it clearly shows that it's a machine validated authority. Like, we can come up with this new term MVA, where the models are recognizing it, and yeah, that's a very good signal out there.
Yeah, learned a new word today. Machine verified authority. Cool one. You are going to make use of it. Yeah. All right. Isha, good, good, please.
Okay, so I would agree with Faizan, and I have a counter to Parth. I will not see what you are saying that I mean AI citations are been considered as a signal for LLM. That's a pretty gray area till the time it has been proven, because what I am right now learning about LLMs and other things, so they are, so the say so they doesn't work the way it's been, because at this point of time, there are every time there are new agents coming, there are people who are programming these LLMs. If that would have been the case, then then easily some program the LLM and ensure that one brand is ranking on the another, which is not the case. uh, say, because at least I have not seen it. I mean, whatever I think at this point of time, if there are case studies, I'm happy to really explore that, because that becomes a very black hat and gray hat kind of a thing. Second point which I wanted to mention, adding to what Faizan said, that why they are not backlinks is because, see, you need to understand AI are answer engines. Their answer changes based on your question. Plus, if they, so I remember, even like if AI is giving you a wrong answer, or if AI is citing something else, I mean, yesterday or day before yesterday only, I was just exploring AI results, and then I told them that your results are wrong. Then they restructure the same thing with a citation. So that cannot be that they, if those citations would have been the backlinks, they will not change it based on the question. So that's my understanding and take on that.
Okay, no, everyone is right. I don't debate. Well, all right. Okay, let's move to the next one because we go from, see, the ranking and retrieval part of the conversation now to the synthetic part of the conversation, where with the inter answer layer, which Parth spoke about little while back. We just want to dive a little bit on that. And see, Parth, from your point of view, right? See, how can brands measure visibility when assistants skip the clicks and show answers only, right? So the entire synthesization of content is just shown there. How can brand measure visibility then?
Oh, that's going to be so. The straightforward answer to that would be measuring the referral traffic through these LLMs, whether it's chat.openai.com, using GA4. Uh, but brands can go forward and start tracking mentions, probably any referral traffic from any of these LLMs, and uh, after they get to know what's the brand visibility, they'll have to check the referral traffic and set up custom events from those landing pages and check the full journey, referral traffic to conversions, and then they'll get to know. So this is one of the ways. But I think so. It's it's going to evolve. Like the whole behavior is still changing. It's going to evolve, and people would be used to like real quick question prompt to LLM, then finding the answer, then directly clicking on the citation. So this thing will evolve going forward. But yeah, at this point in time, this is how brands can measure the visibility.
Yeah, Isha, please.
I just wanted to ask a question. Any of you people who is right now, of course, we all are exploring GA4 of account. Do you people have seen that ChatGPT is like in GA4 is not just only part of referral, they have also started showing ChatGPT organic as well. Has anyone seen that?
Not me, at
Not
least.
yet. Nope.
And because I saw that, that's why I was. That's why I had this question. Maybe when the data is more, GA4 might start showing or adding that to organic separate and referral separate. I've seen that for a bigger site, not for the smaller one or the medium ones. Something which has a very high traffic is showing the bifurcation.
Yeah, could be possible. I've seen a bunch of posts on Twitter and LinkedIn couple of weeks back, but I have personally not come across. But yeah,
Since you mention Isha, I probably saw it about. I guess it's more than couple of months back. But then I guess it was just a fleeting discovery. I don't remember seeing it again in those reports. But again, I could have just glanced through it, so not seen it
No,
closely.
so
But yeah.
no, I agree with you. Even I saw the same thing, and I was trying to, back calculate that is it that when and what so one theory which came up with my project where I was trying to back calculate was that suddenly when so we are tracking Ahref, SEMrush for AI mentions. So suddenly, if there is an increase in AI mentions from ChatGPT, I was seeing that the change in analytics happening. So that's one correlation I just observed. Still, there is no. I mean, as you already said, there's no right and wrong. There's no case study which has been said and written behind it. But that's one observation. Second thing, coming back to your question for about how are we so basically if you ask me from the tracking perspective or how brands are seeing this from the ability perspective, there are so like I mean what we are doing for our brands is as I just said that Ahref, SEMrush, they are also showing the AI visibility. There are other places where you get to know like there are some other tools also I'm just trying to explore which I would not mention till that I'm very sure about it. These two I know because I'm using them in the report, which is showing AI visibility. GA, yes, it is AI visibility, but apart from GA, you will also you can you can if you are already using any other king tool like right now, I mean, a lot of people are moving out of GA4 and using their own uh, analytics tool. Either it's a bit one or I mean, people are have almost gone to the extent where they have created their own analytics using cloud and using Claude and other AIs to do this complete tracking. So the people who are doing that, they are creating those dashboards and showing the brand visibility to the client basis on these different parameters.
Okay, nice. Deepak, please.
Hi everyone. When it comes to brand tracking in LLMs, I feel it's uh, kind of navigating through a dark space because all the tools that we have, like Href or SEMrush or any tool for that matter, do not provide actual data that user is getting, user is searching. We are getting just template like data that these tools put on LLMs and then get an answer. Uh, and if your brand is mentioned, it will show as yes, your brand is visible. That doesn't give us actual uh, data that we want to know.
I will totally agree to what Deepak wants to mention here, and I'll add a little bit more context to it. So, for example, there are 100 different people searching from 100 different locations, different IP. Based on their search behavior, they might have done a lot of past searches on Google, obviously, and ChatGPT, obviously. So, they'll get a personalized answer with a citation. Hey, Krinal bhai, good to see you around. So they'll see a answer with a personalized citation. Now, all of these third-party tools tracking the citations based on the prompts that we want to track for, they'll use machines APIs to check the citation. So that would be an incognito approach of finding the citations, while the actual users will see a personalized answer, a personalized. So yeah, let's like, this is a debatable thing, and um, the citations shown by a tracking tool, whether we use any of the tracking tools available, whether we use Profound or Visto or Vk or any other tools out in the market, it would be just an authoritative indication that hey, for these answers these brands are showing up, but it's not guaranteed that when your customers or when your target audience is searching, is prompting, they would see the same citations. But yeah, open to hear from other folks on the panel.
So I'll go deeper into probably the measurement part of it and say what KPI do I assign to something that is getting listed in AI overview? Is that a impression that we should be counting as, or say someone clicking on the citation and we terming that as a conversion from AIO? I'm again going on to the KPI part of it. How do I convey that this is an impression versus this is a conversion?
Oh, that's a good one. I think so. Earlier, like, let's compare it to the old traditional world. Like, we start ranking on probably position 72 or somewhere down the line. That's the part of, like, it started showing up in top 100 of Google, and then we go ahead and optimize. So similarly, if we are getting impressions, and if our brand is being cited, but if we look at the impressions versus the clicks that we get through the referral thing on GF4, and if we check through it, like, how can we go ahead and optimize um, in a way that our brand gets cited way more, like the frequency is higher? A, B, what are the other parallel terms, prompts that we can optimize in our content to increase our impressions? So I think so this is the way we can think about. So yeah, impressions can be one of the KPIs for sure, and we can consider it as a ranking position which does not get much click. So consider it's ranking on page 2, for example, and if we're not getting enough referral traffic through it, how can we go ahead and reverse engineer and optimize the content? And yeah, that's something that we learn along the way. But yep, what others think, curious to know.
I agree with Parth. The impression we can track, and we have to see if it is increasing monthly by monthly. So that could be a KPI because we cannot track via traditional methods. See, we have been very uh, settled due to the GF4 and Facebook pixel, we get nearly exact numbers. But marketing is not like that because we have very vague way to get the impression or reach our accounts reach. So impression is the most accurate way we can see because clicks or citation, maybe you can get the mention on the response, but citations are not always guaranteed. Your brand could be visible, but there will not be any link in the response. uh, that's why impression is the better solution, and for that we may have to use tools because we cannot check every day by sending the query. So we have to automate it via, there are various tools right now. So we have to use one or two of them, and we have to see if the impression are increasing monthly by monthly.
Can we
Yes.
track impressions if link is not mentioned?
If the links are not mentioned, yeah, it will be impression because the user has read it. If they are searching for it, they have read it. It is kind of a touch, brand touch already built.
Okay, I'll flip this question in another way. And this probably, Isha, if you want to answer from a very agency perspective, at what should agency guys or freelancers sell? Impression or clicks or conversions?
Mandar, before I speak, I was actually waiting for to get the right answer because my one of my client has literally last week in our discussion told me the same thing that okay, Isha, tell me now next 6 months, based on whatever learnings, whatever things you're saying, dynamics are changing and all, what should we look into? That's the exact question which even my client had, and it is very tricky to answer um, because so I'll tell you I'll tell you for few brands where we are and maybe I'm more heavy on e-commerce because that's where I'm right now. My major work is going. So there what we have seen is one, um, okay, so if impressions are increasing, uh, could be that maybe the overview is resulting into impressions, but when revenue is increasing, and so there's an increase in clicks also which is happening. And another important thing which like right now what we are doing, as Parth also said, we are thinking more like an organic growth marketing agency and not just SEO agency. So when we talk to our client, we are not talking about just impressions, we are talking about PRs also, we are talking about any influencer marketing thing which they are doing, because in the past, historically last few months, we did a lot of collaborations which actually resulted into clicks, which higher clicks, of course those were branded clicks, but non-branded also started growing because of that ranking started improving. So there's a lot of correlation which is happening in the back end, which is still very gray to track and to. So if you ask me, I mean, if we talk about metrics, I tell them that still like right now all of these metrics is what we are tracking. Only thing which we have removed is ranking. Let's not look into ranking the way ranking are, because we don't just go up with the numbers, we just give them more of impressions, clicks, even CTR, uh, and users and revenue. So everything is, so it's a holistic picture which we tell them, because there are a lot of correlation which happen. Like if a particular week uh, suddenly your clicks and impressions are increasing, and then you realize, oh, this is increasing because 2 days before we launched an influencer marketing campaign on social media. So that resulted, because when brand creates brand visibility, people start searching for brand. So when they start searching for brand, then clicks also increases. So it's a very tricky game at this point of time.
It it will make more sense if we track both things, because if the impressions are increasing and clicks are decreasing, that will not be a good situation. It means that our brand is visible in AI, but the information is fetching from some different website which is not ours. And if it is not our website, it can be changed. So it will be better to if we track both.
Yes, Isha.
One more thing which I wanted to just add to, because when Faizan was saying, I just remember, I think we should, when we are talking about these tracking metrics, visibility, we should stop overselling AIs. We should just start selling the overall performance of the website. Because what is happening is that when we start talking about AI, things become gray, things become very, I mean, it becomes very tricky, because see, you need to understand that every person who's sitting at the other side is not an SEO person. So if they start asking you fundamental matrix related question, it becomes very difficult for you also to answer, because right now we don't have a lot of uh, I mean, right now we don't have a direct tool. I mean, Perplexity has not given their own tool. ChatGPT is not giving their own tool. Plus, they cannot, because everything is account driven. As Parth already mentioned, it's if they start giving it, people will start questioning them that okay, you are right now showcasing our. I mean, you are going way beyond after login access. You are actually visible. You are, I mean, getting intuitive. So I mean, I would say that let's stop when it comes to matrix. Let's do not bifurcate it, whether whether it is AI, whether it is Google, whether it is this. It is to be holistically organic. It has to be coming from, like, whether the traffic is coming organically or it is coming from paid. That should be the only two things which you should think of.
Fantastic. I actually loved this conversation very much because it clears a lot of doubt also in terms of what should brands or agencies or freelancers really focus on right now, because like many of you agree, it's still a gray area to a certain extent, and everyone is trying to figure out what is the best way forward, especially if you are a freelancer or agency owner, in terms of, because you have a set clientele whom you had been serving, and suddenly you are faced with a situation where the KPIs itself are blurry. So, thank you for sharing your insights and your practical point of view on the entire subject. So, I'll go to the next one, and this again might sound a little controversial again, because our AIO quietly becoming the new SERPs for discovery. Are we relying more on AIO at this point?
I think so. Yes, it's the first touch point. It's the first discovery point. And if we take an example, if we are searching for any fitness advice, it will show an authoritative website like Health Life, and AI synthesized answer from a health magazine, um, which is following all the EEAT guidelines and stuff like that. And that AI synthesized answer will be shown way above, like obviously on top of all the blue links. So it's going to be the first interaction point for most of the informational queries, and discovery of content is obviously shifting into those AI surfaces. And yeah, brand should always consider it. Yep.
So, zero click branding if you can put it. Cool.
Yeah. Okay. So
Good.
I mean, I don't want to counter here, but I have a again, a slightly different thought process. Uh, See, I mean, fundamentally, we all know that the search behavior is changing. Again, to answer your question, my answer will be a typical SEO answer. It depends. It depends who your audience is. If your audience is somebody who is not too heavy on AI, or rather not too tech savvy, you will still end up getting more results from Google. So that's point number one. Point number two is, if even if your audience is a AI driven audience, and this is what I'm saying from my own behavioral perspective as a consumer, not an SEO professional, that right now if I'm using AI, I mean, I'm not going up and checking those sites. I am going there to maybe create my own itinerary, maybe get those results. I will hardly go up and ask them to compare brands versus brands. My major because most of, yes, of course, awareness related prompts you add there, you will have, but I'm still I'm still very doubtful that whether the brand visibility, or rather that zero clicks, or will come up in this whole AI world, because again it is a very different world.
Super.
Yep.
Deepak, if you yeah, sorry, Pat, go ahead.
Just one thing to add here. I think so. Um, so the traditional in the traditional SEO world, the search engine results page was a marketplace, and now AI overviews is serving as a personal concierge, which gives you answers citing from. So yeah, this is how we can probably think of. Yeah, Deepak, you were saying something.
Okay. Yeah, Deepak, if you're speaking, you're on mute. If not, Rohit, you have been around for a while and probably you did not get a chance to speak. Now is the time if you want to share a thought or add anything.
Yeah, I think one thing what I have observed, like someone was mentioning, like uh, it is getting picked by mostly by ranking in organic is also important, and mostly it is picked by top 10 results only. But in my opinion, it is not the case. Matlab, at least 30% or 40% of the time when I see the queries or citation in Google AI overview, it is not mostly the top 10 results. So, and apart from that, I think major factor is like getting mentioned from different sites. Obviously, if what I have observed, if our article or listicle is ranking on Google also, and it is getting picked by s- uh, by AI overview also, still it doesn't mention our brand, because and across other articles our brand is not mentioned that broadly. So we don't have much coverage on other articles. So that is also a factor to get mentions from different articles, right? Yeah, I have one question. So, if we want to get started with tracking the LLM visibility, right, for ChatGPT and these all the AI platforms, so how does it work? Like in traditional SEO, we have keyword data from Google, right? We check the volume and try to align it with our business, and the more volume keywords and some commercial keyword, we'll track that, right? But how we can identify which queries and prompts user are typing, so we should track that. So yeah, that's what I wanted to know.
Thanks, Pat.
Yeah. To answer to your question, Rohit, The two ways: A, you go to, for example, let's take an example of Ahrefs Brand Radar. You go there, you can check out how many times your brand, other competitors are being cited. Um, okay. B, you you use tools like Visto, where you go out there, add details of your brand. It will help you shop around with 50, 100, 200 prompts. You select those prompts, and then it starts tracking for you and the competitors that you have mentioned. So there are two ways to go about it at this point in time that I am aware about. But yeah, if anyone wants to add anything, Isha, Deepak on the panel. Um, the other question, the question that I had, I'm working with a client, and the client came up with an interesting one, that hey, if someone is searching for pros and cons of our brand, um, it is fetching details from a competitor's landing page where the competitors mentioned like wrong cons about us, and it's picking up and showing in the AI overviews or the chat GPT answer. What do you guys think, like how to go about this kind of a negative SEO attack, and like playing around with ORM? But do you have any specific just curious, like if you have any specific solutions that you can think on top of your mind?
Actually, I faced this problem on one of my clients' project, and we are doing the same as the competitor is doing. We are mentioning their pro and cons in our way.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Deepak.
Isha, if
And focusing on our brand in positive way. And one thing we can do is actually you create your own version of pro and cons. It can be on your website or somewhere else on a authoritative website to counter that uh, competitor pages source.
okay.
I had a similar suggestion, Parth. I mean, uh, when I heard your question, the first point was that your competitor did better job because they ensured that to rank keywords. And I think another thing which you need to understand, in SaaS based companies, this was a very generic practice, specifically in SEO, where we used to create these pages where we used to have comparison based pages. And as Deepak mentioned, you need to do a couple of things. One is, of course, like you need to have similar page on your own website, but you also have to ensure that that page is linked to a lot of authoritative website. Similar type of content is being talked about at multiple places, and again, yeah, the basic internal linking and the other things are being rightly placed.
Okay. We have the final couple of minutes, so I will try to squeeze this in because Parth mentioned about this new term, right? It was machine validated authority. How do we compare that with EEAT?
That's an interesting one. I think so. EAT is a whole content strategy, content um, positioning your brand and your content as reviewed by subject matter expertise, and at the same time, it comes from a first hand experience, first like never heard before voice, and all of that. While the machine validated authority would be if you're a brand like HubSpot, for example, and for a bunch of multiple different prompts, you are being cited across different LLM engines, whether it's OpenAI, the Google, Perplexity, and a bunch of others, Copilot and whatnot, then I think so I would say EAT would be a subset of MVA, uh, or prerequisite.
Um, okay, so Malhar, I will not agree to saying that AI citation is basically creating that authority, or it is related to EAT, because see, you need to understand the whole so both the concepts were very different. First of all, EAT was an is still date algorithm matrix where Google is giving leverage to it. AIs are not using EAT as an authoritative matrix, because EAT is not a concept for consumer, it is for an algorithm. So it's so that's one important thing, and AIs are actually using search engines and as an authoritative matrix, that okay, if it is already been talked at multiple places across web and it is also ranking on the search engine, then yes, because like search engine is already doing the job of EAT, so AI doesn't have to do that. Point. That's one. Second is, um, I just a question for everyone, a thought that how much specifically for the people who are using Copilot, and specifically for the people who are working in the corporate, you're constantly using Copilot, you're constantly using other tools as well. So in like people are using Copilot on a daily basis, and how much do they are really clicking on those links or really genuinely checking that okay, which brand is giving me those results? Because the ratio is very less. So that's from my side.
All right, thank you. Anyone else, or I guess it's time to wrap up? Yeah, Parth, you're saying something? Sorry, I interrupted.
Yeah, I think so. We are good, and it's time to wrap up. Um, and couple of thoughts before we wrap up. If the traditional SEO CRP was about showing the rankings with blue links, AI overviews and other things shows clearly that brand matters on this discovery front. But again, like having said that, whether we want to build whether we are optimizing for EAT would help to show up in the top 10, top 20 results. And we have seen a lot of case studies in last 2 months that all of these LLMs pick up from the blue links from the top 10 results. There's a direct correlation of it. So traditional SEO builds the foundation while AI visibility is the new frontier on top of it. So yeah, interesting times ahead, and thank you for joining us today on SEO Talk. We would be tuning in again next week. Over to you, Malarwai.
All right. No, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Thank you for contributing, and thank you for listening if you are on the replay. Right. Till we meet again next time. Have a lovely, lovely week ahead. Have a super successful one too. All right. Cheers then. Bye.